was your evaluation of the pass blocking versus the run blocking last week?
Yeah, I'd say we've got areas to improve in both, especially the run blocking in some instances. But, you're always going to find things on the tape you don't like, just a little too many for last Saturday.
Justin said he felt like you guys got out-physicaled a little bit against Colorado. Did you feel the same, and how do you fix that going forward?
Yeah, I would say the same, and it always comes back to the same things. Comes back to technique, comes back to the little details. Like, usually regardless of how you're getting beat on O-line, it usually just comes down to the same little details and technique. So it's just staying sharp on those, working really hard at them during this week of practice.
How would you evaluate the communication through 5 games on the O-line?
I would say it's been getting better. I'd say we especially felt the jump from our first road game at Arizona State to our second road game last week. I think we did a better job communicating because it's a little tougher on the road, obviously. But we've still got areas to improve there, communicating as a group, and I'm confident that we'll make those jumps.
What things do you have to focus on in terms of improving communicating on the road?
Usually it's post-snap, right? Like, it just really being on the same page pre-snap and post-snap. Post-snap's the harder thing because, you don't always know what their guys are doing or what they're reading or whatever. So just really being on the same page there, getting the same pre-snap reads, and playing as a unit.
What do you feel like Colorado did well to battle some of the blocks that you guys had when you were pulling?
Sorry, you said when I was pulling?
Yeah.
They did some good things, but, really, again, if you go back to it, they're just beating the combo blocks or pushing us back on one-on-one blocks or something, kind of just jamming up some of the running lanes. And like I said earlier, it usually just comes back down to the details and technique and who's going to execute it better.
How would you assess the run game when you've had a lead this season? Finishing out games, especially the last 2 weeks.
I'll be honest, question kind of stumps me, but like I said earlier, there's always areas for us to improve. I can't recall certain instances of whether we're running or passing the ball on a certain series or whether or not right now. But, obviously when we get leads, we'd love to run the ball as an offensive line, and we've got to be better and have a better product so coach believes in it and calls a run, and we can go out there and do it.
What are your thoughts on blocking for Marshawn? He's obviously very efficient.
Yeah.
What have you seen as far as his communication with you guys and capitalizing on the holes that you're giving him?
I love it. I love blocking for Marshawn and Austin, and those guys are great teammates. They're great leaders. Both of those guys transferred in, and they both very similar. Bought in from day one, do everything the right way, work really hard, really good teammates, and obviously very talented, very athletic dudes. So always love blocking for them.
You guys have done well blocking for Caleb. Going into Saturday, with the defensive line that Arizona has, what are kind of some of the emphasis this week going into that?
Yeah, there's always both emphases. You got to emphasize what kind of scheme they run. So what's that going to look like for our, our calls and things like that, and then also more individually, what are their techniques like? How are they taught to rush? What are some of their favorite moves and favorite stunts and whatever it may be. So you always kind of got to balance their identity scheme-wise and their identity, technique-wise. So just looking at that, keep watching film. Scout team does a great job every week. Just keep learning from those reps and, take it to Saturday confidently.
On a play like where Marshawn reverses field, like that first touchdown, how does your guys' job change when you see him going from one direction to the other?
Yeah, coach does a good job of, teaching us on plays that break down like that, open field plays. It really just becomes like, just be careful. Like, you can't get, penalties or try to blindside guys or anything like that. And we know these backs, man, you just got to give them a shot and they'll make things happen. So just always playing through the whistle. You get up, guy sheds a block, back reverses field. Like, just do what you can. Try to bump someone off or whatever. Just keep fighting through the whistle.
After 2 games on the road, how does it feel to come and play at the Coliseum?
Yeah, it feels good. Glad to be back home. Excited to be out there on Saturday.
Thank you, Jonah.
Thanks, guys.